So, it took weeks and sometimes even months to travel west. Now we can glide through the air with the greatest of ease and enjoy the view as well in a matter of hours. As we gaze on the glorious Rocky Mountains and encompass the scenery and urban cities below, it isn't long before we arrive in California, when we pass over the Death Valley area and circle over the sprawling suburbia of Los Angeles. Michigan SAC members zoom down the airstrip and anxiously await to attend the 13th annual SAC convention aboard Queen Mary. Our first stop, Hollywood, motion picture capital of the world, and a name that has become synonymous with extravagant entertainment. Is not a city, but just a district of the city of Los Angeles, with a population that varies according to the definition of how far it extends. Homes are built everywhere, even on hillsides. The higher, the more expensive. Hollywood probably attracts more types of nationalities than any city of its size in the world. Here are nobility, ex-nobility, the pseudo-nobility of a dozen countries, the artistically inclined from every corner of the world who aspire to movie jobs, and the average Americans who live here because they like the climate or else were born here. About 75% of the population is connected with the motion picture industry. California's freeway and expressway system can justifiably be called one of the wonders of the modern world. Below, Highland Avenue leads us to the famous Hollywood Boulevard, the center business district, which is 8 miles from Los Angeles and 12 miles from the coast. On Hollywood Boulevard, we can see the famous Chinese theater, previously known as Grauman's, now under new management, the Mann's. It's a spectacular adaptation of the Chinese style of architecture designed by Meyer and Haller. Concrete slabs in front of the courtyard reveal hand, footprints, and messages of the stars, the scene of Hollywood's major premieres, where actors and movie moguls attend opening performances of new films with the ballyhoo of searchlights and floodlights, microphones and loudspeakers, and roped-off aisles covered with carpet. Hollywood Boulevard, known sometimes as the Avenue of the Stars, has new stars inset with bronze names of entertainment celebrities, continually added each month to the charcoal-colored terrazzo sidewalks. La Brea discoveries have been made in Hancock Park area located right in Hollywood's busy metropolis. This very spot once was the part of a series of pools of sticky oil and tar, which continually bubbles and blisters and explodes like conical bells and exhales a pitchy smell. A family group of imperial mammoths have come to drink and splash and shower themselves with trunks full of water. A closer look reveals black asphalt soaked into the surrounding soil and underlying the water. The asphalt from the underground oil deposit is pushed about as natural gas rises to escape through the bubbles rising to the surface of water. An astonishing and frightful aspect when these animals begin to sink into the sticky mass, and when they try to escape were unable to do so because their feet were stuck and the lake swallowed them. For thousands of years, mammals and birds were caught in this death trap of the ages. Thus, the oil and asphalt have preserved these skeletons, making possible their reconstruction from over 100 tons of recovered fossil bones. After many attempts to raise money for a museum, finally in 1972, George C. Page, a fine and generous man, realizes a lifelong dream by offering to build such a museum. A modern building has been constructed partially underground in form of a donut to save the park atmosphere. Another unique feature is the imprint on the architecture. In addition to the landscaping, the exhibits, and the generally evocative mood of the new science structure in Hancock Park to house the La Brea fossils from its own backyard, just a few feet from where they were originally trapped in the bubbling, sticky asphalt. A climb to the top of the mound reveals the inner atrium that is enclosed by the museum, whose garden with surrounding trees and cascading waterfall is crisscrossed with the shade patterns of the protective grid which covers it. Many vociferous opponents argued that their green belt was being destroyed if the Page Museum was allowed to proceed. Instead, it has been added to by the grassy mound that conceals the body of the museum underground, topped by the see-through structural steel frieze that both tells the La Brea story and gives majesty to the structure. The best-known paleontological area in California and one of the richest in the world is La Brea Pits in Los Angeles County. Universal Studios is located between Hollywood and the San Fernando Valley. It is the third largest tourist attraction in the world. Last year, 3.8 million tourists took the tour or crammed the studio amphitheater. There are no thrill rides per se on the tour. The big kick for tourists is being on the inside, seeing the techniques and special effects that make movies tick. On peak days, some 27,000 visitors take the tour, highlight of which is the tram ride that covers most of the lot. An admission charge of $8.75 for adults and $6.75 for children apparently doesn't discourage anyone. On busy days, the gates are closed to thousands of persons due to limited parking facilities. The Universal Tour is a wonder in its own right. It entertains millions of tourists without disrupting production of motion pictures and television shows, many of which are filmed on the back lot in view of the crowded trams that ply studio streets. But, curiously, tourists aren't as interested in seeing stars in the flesh as they are in the mystery and magic of movie making itself. At first, some executives were concerned that revealing secrets of movie making would hurt the box office. It's just the opposite. People are stimulated to see more movies. Our guide rounds up the tram riders to follow her through State Set 30. We walk by the Bionic Woman's apartment as seen on the $6 Million Man TV series. However, due to the fact that the musicians were on strike, no shows were being filmed for us to enjoy. In lieu of watching, we could participate by taking a screen test and become an instant star in the movie Airport. Films are not taken in the middle of the ocean as it looks, but right here on a stage set, and the background blended in with superimposed slides for actual movie effects background. A 5-hour tram ride takes visitors over a collapsing bridge, which reassembles itself back together again just as soon as we make a U-turn and is ready for the next tram tourists. We continue to travel along to an area that has old stage sets set up for tourist amusement. We are trying to decide which stage set to film, whether the moving background in a stationary car, as in the scene from the train robbery, or Lily Tomlin's oversized telephone from the Shrunken Woman movie. He decides to pick up a truck and take it home. Wouldn't you know, he got caught already. And here's a producer, director, and actor getting ready for jailbreak. Have you any idea how tough it is to bend steel bars? In Hollywood, these are a cinch, being made from synthetic. Now for a getaway. A chariot, but no horsepower. Gotta thumb a ride. The 30 trams, each with a capacity of 120 passengers, went through western towns, European, colonial, New York streets, and past a burning house. Universal has an enormous inventory supply of props, stage sets including a jet plane, showboat frontage only set up by a shoreline, and warehouses full of furniture, paintings, decorations, cars, and wardrobes of clothing from head to toe, which they maintain and use over and over whenever they can. At this waterfront, the special effects were set up for Moses to cross the Red Sea. As we approach the shoreline, water is drained away, the sides form a dam, and our tram actually proceeds right through the same path taken by Charles Heston. We continue to be fascinated by all the movie gimmickry when suddenly we see the fins of a shark glide across the lake and witness a hairy encounter with Bruce from Jaws. Time out for comparing notes, shopping, and lunch break. Well, we really didn't want to go shopping in there anyhow, at least not with our tripods. We even caught a glimpse of Ceylon going on a coffee break. Universal has 4 fast food centers on the tour right now. This is the second day opening of the Wumhoppers restaurant, specializing in Western steaks and chops. Across the circle is the famous Victoria Station and a huge Chinese restaurant to keep up with the demand. Busiest spots on the tour are the entertainment center arenas. Trainers feature birds and animals trained for films. The trainer commands the bird to fly through hoops and then fly back and fly up higher and higher. A tourist volunteer places a dollar bill folded in the palm of his extended hand, and the trainer commands the bird to fly and pick up the bill and bring it to the trainer. Thank you. Now, who has a $10 bill? Boomer from the movie Benji captivates the audience with his tricks. The trainer asks the boy to tell Boomer to fetch something for him. Boomer, what did you bring? Are you sure? He asked for a bra. Naughty, naughty. The trainer proceeds to give vocal commands to Boomer as they are required for a particular movie. Good dog. Now mail a letter, then go to your doghouse. we came upon an old Western city. The Western show has stuntmen falling off buildings with plenty of gunplay, besides very realistic scenes of whipping and fighting with wooden sticks and sharp knives. Perhaps most elaborate and impressive of tour's attractions is the latest addition, Castle Dracula, the interior of a moldy and classic castle straight out of Transylvania. Mechanical bats, zombies, wolves, and other creatures of the night are the supporting cast for the Mummy, Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, Frankenstein, the Incredible Hulk, and Count Dracula himself. Castle Dracula was conceived to demonstrate Hollywood's ability to terrorize and horrify movie audiences. It sends chills up the spines of old and young alike. Can you imagine Don Giovanni opera being performed in Castle Dracula? It's the end of the line and time to claim our luggage. Universal provided 5 colorful shows and 9 major special effects productions, most of which are based on our studio, films, and shows. Universal also plans to build new additional parking areas and new attractions at a regular basis in the future. Long Beach is California's fifth largest city and third largest port in the state. Its sandy fluff overlooks the 8-mile long crescent-shaped beach of San Pedro Bay. From the shore, it stretches north to surround the oil derricks of Signal Hill. Long Beach is several towns in one: a seaside resort, a haven for elderly retired persons, and an industrial center, drawing its income from oil, shipping, and manufacturing motor cars, airplanes, and soap. Presently, Long Beach is also the home and final resting place of the mighty Queen Mary. On December the 9th, 1967, the Queen Mary was escorted by thousands of small craft to Pier J at Long Beach, where her conversion to her new career as a marine museum, hotel restaurant, shop tourist convention complex commenced. Queen Mary, being a British ship, continues all the regalia of British royal pomp and ceremony at periodic scheduling changing of the guard. We took time to observe and pay tribute. Mary was and still is the largest passenger ship afloat. She is paneled in 56 varieties of exotic woods. Her salons and 300Before we realized it, the exact convention was over. Meetings and seminars concluded, all the trophies awarded, delicious dinners digested, good company enjoyed, and now time to depart from our home by the sea aboard Queen Mary. Bon voyage, everyone, homeward bound. We'll meet again next year.